Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Jeffrey Weiss from the Preparedness Network, and welcome to another chapter of Chapters, where we examine some books developed by John Maxwell, one of the leaders in leadership training. And he has published almost 70 books. And out of those 70 books, we're going to dive deep into one of these books and even deeper into a chapter with a John Maxwell certified coach. And today we have Juvy. How you doing, Juvy?
I'm doing fantastic, Jeff. Thank you for inviting me here.
Yeah, I'm so happy I was talking with you. And you have an exciting book that is kind of like a little mini book of John's, right?
Yes.
What's the book you have?
I have the book here. It's The Self-Aware Leader.
The Self-Aware Leader. That is such an incredible book and a good title.
Yes.
So what made you choose this book?
In my company, we deal with people. So when you deal with people, you must be, I'm looking for how to become a better leader.
Yeah.
So I have to start for myself. So I just found out that, leading yourself is the most important part.
Absolutely.
When leading other people.
So what are some of the great things that you need to do to lead yourself?
That's a great question, Jeff. The challenge to being a leader is how to lead yourself.
Yes.
Leading yourself is because there are so many obstacles in many ways, like the way we think, our thoughts, our emotions, and how we deal with situations that will make the hurdle of leadership. So it has to start from me.
Now, what do you think are some of the tools and skills and resources that someone can use to become a better leader?
Reading books, especially with the books of John Maxwell. This is really resonated with me because I have to start with myself and how to understand myself as a person. How do I think? And I also have mentors in the industry that I am in.
So what are some of the things that people lack that makes them a great leader?
Lack of sympathy and empathy to others.
Sympathy and empathy, yeah.
Sympathy and empathy, because if you don't have self-awareness, you struggle for themselves, looking at, you have to put yourself in some other people's shoes.
Yeah.
To be in their shoes.
I work in the disaster preparedness industry, and a lot of times people come to and volunteer with us, and they walk up to people who have had a disaster, and they say, "Oh, I know exactly what you're going through."
Right.
And there's no way they can know. They are not that person. Even if they went through a fire or flood or other tragedy, they can no way know what they're having. But you can be empathetic to their situation.
Correct.
So what you're saying is leaders have to have a sense of empathy.
Empathy. You have to feel them where they at.
That comes to self-awareness, right?
Right.
So what are some of the things that people lack in self-awareness? How do people get more self-aware or develop empathy?
So they can develop empathy because, how do you see yourself is how you see other people.
Yeah.
So that's how I interpret that. So how you see yourself is the reflection of the other people that you're looking at. So if you think negative, you look at the people also negative in a negative way.
So what's the next step to someone to gauge their leadership level?
One thing that I've learned through the years, having a business like my business and dealing with people is to become a good listener. You listen more and talking less.
Listen more and talking less.
And also leading by example.
Leading by example, okay.
So you have to practice what you preach.
Absolutely.
You can tell people what to do if you're not doing it. And also you have to take full responsibility as a leader. And accepting, if you make mistakes, you accept that mistakes and learn from it. And also no micromanagement, and also learn to manage your priorities.
And one of the things that I think that a true leader does is that leaders not only take responsibility for their own actions, but their team as well, right?
Correct.
The people who they lead, they got to take responsibility for if something goes wrong, to take responsibility for their team because they're the leader of the team, right?
Right.
How do people do that? Is there an action that needs to be taken for someone to take responsibility?
Yeah, you take responsibility with your decisions and actions because as I remember what John Maxwell said that leadership is everything rises and falls in leadership.
Everything rises and falls with leadership. Absolutely. So what are some of the steps that people can take to make a better choice as leaders?
I have like 6 steps that I have learned from John Maxwell.
Yeah.
One of them is being a follower. So you have to follow someone that can lead you, that can coach you, that there is more moral and ethical. As long as that person is moral and ethical, and you can follow that person so that other people can follow you too. The other thing is you have to discipline yourself. Like myself, for example, I have to learn to discipline myself when I wake up in the morning. What are the habits that I'm taking when I wake up in the morning? Do I wake up feeling positive, feeling energized? And I have some like things that I'm doing early in the morning so that I can have that positive outlook during that day.
Yeah.
And it's patience. You know, most people, they don't have patience at all, right? So patience, they said that patience is a virtue. So being patient, especially if your business, like my business, is dealing with people, I have to give the people the benefit of the doubt and being patient of what they're going through, and, you know, like, leading them, teaching them, praising them. We call it EPR. So empower them, recognize them, that so that they can have, you know, as a leader like that.
Yeah.
And also accountability. You have to have accountability partner to look, because we have, as a leader, we don't see a lot of things. There's some blind spots that we don't see, but other people can see.
Yes.
So it's a accountability. There's someone, before you take actions, it's better to have an accountability partner
Absolutely.
to look at that and
Absolutely.
seek advice, and you can accept also that advice.
Yeah.
And moving forward what you want to do as a leader.
So your chapter in this book is chapter 1, right?
Correct.
So tell me a little about this chapter.
So this chapter is talking about, this book is self-awareness. So to become aware as a leader, you got to lead yourself.
Right.
So leading yourself is also, I found out that you have to know your strengths.
Know your strengths.
Strengths and your weakness. Because like before, I'm confused. I'm like, what are my strengths? I keep asking my husband, like, babe, what are my strengths? Because sometimes, you know, when you doubt yourself and the belief sometimes is not there.
Right.
So I have to know myself, that what are my strengths, what I'm good at, so that I can use that to, you know, the things that you're good at, that's how you can succeed in anything you do.
Right.
What you love to do.
You have to identify your strengths and weaknesses. It's very cool. It's very insightful of him. So how do we do that? How do we recognize our strengths and our weaknesses? Is there some program we need to do to find that?
Yes. So one of the things also are reading books. I've been reading books. Like I started with John Maxwell as a certified team member. That's how I grow my leadership, because leadership is a process. It's not like one time. You gotta grow as a leader. You gotta grow. You gotta have that mentality of being a student all the time.
Yeah.
Because you don't know everything.
Absolutely.
So somebody knows something that you can also learn from them as a leader.
Absolutely.
So reading books, one of them, and I am very big in affirmation. We have to reprogram ourselves, because we have, you know, our subconscious mind, we have some negativity there already. Our, like, we call it 9-year-old voice in the back of you telling you that, oh, that's not true. So you have to reprogram your brain, your mindset, to have that positive attitude. So one of the things I've been doing is affirmations.
Affirmations.
I have affirmations, saying those affirmations in front of the mirror daily.
Right, and not just like Stuart Smiley used to do, right?
Yes, no.
Not like Stuart Smiley. Stuart Smiley, if you don't know Stuart Smiley, he was a Saturday Night Live guy, but a skit thing. But Stuart Smiley, way he did affirmations is they were more platitudes. But you have to do genuine affirmations, right?
Yeah, genuine affirmation, that you're saying that you have to see yourself that it will happen to you. Yeah. The things that I've been saying is the things that I want to happen, or I already accepted it's already happened in my life. But it's so many things that, you know, it is so powerful that whatever you say, negative or positive, will come true.
That's very cool.
It's true. It happened to me all the time.
That's wonderful. That's really wonderful.
So I have to be careful what to say.
Absolutely. We always have to be mindful of our speech,
Right.
and what we're thinking about, because what we say, words do affect people.
Correct.
Right? Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about you. So Juvy, tell me a little about you and your coaching.
So in my coaching, because in my field, I am a financial professional.
Yeah.
So I've been doing this for almost 7 years now. So that's why I started to study, the books of John Maxwell, because our business model is building people.
Yeah.
We're in the financial education and leadership development. In order for me to become a better leader or become the great leader is to manage myself, how to empower myself too.
Yeah.
In order to do that. So we have different types of personality. You have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Some people are stable, some people are action people, some people are technical, and some people are relationship. So you have to know those type of relationship. That's how I learned from John Maxwell's books.
Great. So you help people with financial literacy, right?
Yes, financial literacy.
I think that's great, because that's one of the biggest problems we have today. Is, it's like,
Yes.
When the pandemic hit and people were like, oh, well, how am I going to live for 6 months or 2 years without an income? Well,
Right.
if you plan and you prepare, then you can manage and you can do it. When the pandemic hit, I didn't need to really worry too much, because I had been saving my whole life,
Right.
so my life could save me.
Correct.
I'm part of the Big Brother Big Sisters, and I inspired my little brother, last little brother, to really invest. Now he's an avid investor, and he invests in precious metals, and he watches the bond market, and he really is starting to invest now. Because if you invest when you're our age, well, then you're too late.
Right. So, because if you're not prepared now, and then what's going to be, because you don't know the future.
Yeah.
You don't know when you become sick. So that's the reason why I love what I do, because 95% of our society are not financially educated.
No, we're not. We feel that if we have a job at a Walmart, or even at a big company like Google, my job is secure until Google lays off 12,000 people last week.
Right. They're laying off, like not only Google, a lot of companies like Microsoft are laying off people.
And if you think you work for a company and your job is secure, you're not. I mean, that's why when the pandemic hit, and people left their jobs because they had to get laid off, and then people never came back to their job, because they started doing things like coaching, and they started taking their own career and creating. I think that's going to be the future of our society is not working for big companies,
Right.
but more and more people working and creating businesses for themselves,
Right.
because that's the only way to be secure, because you are 100% control of your life.
That's exactly correct.
You are 100. I mean, there's some things you're not in control of with the governments and all that stuff, but mostly you are 100% control of your own life. Whereas if you work for a company, you're not 100%.
You're not.
They control most of it.
Right. So when you work for someone, your income, you partner with Uncle Sam.
Yes.
Uncle Sam, right?
Yeah.
That's not the right uncle that we want to have.
We don't want that uncle.
We don't want that uncle. Yes. So saving money, especially if if you're getting sick, because there are 3 things that it can cause financial chaos if you don't have plan in place.
Yeah.
Number 1 is sickness, because your income, as what you mentioned, when you work for a company, that income is not secure. So if you become sick, stroke, cancer, or heart attack, do you have an income protection?
Yeah.
For your family? That's the main number 1 issue. And the second one is death. We don't know when we pass.
We don't.
We don't, right? Are you going to be a liability or a legacy to your family?
Right.
That's what you have to take a look also. And the last one is retirement. Right now, we have 3-legged stool of retirement, Jeff, but it's not gonna happen, because it's already broken. That 3-legged stool is broken. you know, when you save in the bank, how many percent of interest from your money that you it can
Oh yeah,
increase?
if you put money in the bank, that's not you're losing money because the interest,
Inflation.
the inflation and the inflation that comes out, the interest is not there.
Right. And also the investment 401k is not good. The market is really bad. Market is up and down.
Right.
So it's not secure, it's very unstable.
Right.
And the third one is Social Security. You cannot rely on Social Security right now. Social Security is depleting.
Well, yeah, mostly. I mean, one of the funds are, and the other funds are secure, but for the foreseeable future. But yes, absolutely. If you depend on somebody else, then you're hoping that that person will come through. You should depend on yourself.
Right.
And that's who you should always depend on.
Right, right.
Because you're the only person that you are 100% know what they think.
Correct.
You know, you are 100% on your side, but the other person is not necessarily 100% on your side.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I don't care what they say.
Right.
They are focused on their survival first, and maybe your survival fifth or sixth.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so how do we find out more information about you? Do you have a website?
I have my website, agents.worldfinancialgroup.com/Juvy Johnson. And they can follow also me from my Facebook account, Juvy Johnson, and also my Instagram, Juvy Johnson 68. That's my Instagram.
Okay. This is the book right here that Juvy talked about, the John Maxwell Self-Aware Leader. This is an incredible book. You should, guys, check this out. And other books, too. Please check down the notes field of some of the different books that John has published, including the Self-Aware Leader. I'll have Juvy's full contact information down in the notes field as well, so you can check out her different sites and social media handles and stuff like that, and you can get in touch with her. Our contact information is also down below. If you have any questions or comments for Juvy or for me, but put them down. I'll make sure that we get them over to her so that she can reach out to you. And remember that financial literacy is your responsibility. You have a responsibility to yourself and to your family to become financial literate and to make a future for yourself and all the stools and all the legs that she talked about, because you need to take control of it, because no one else is going to do that. You've got to start. As you know, as Warren Buffett once said, when's the best time to invest? 10 years ago.
Yes.
Second time is 3 years ago, and the third time is right now. So you need to take charge of your life right now and invest. So always, we do also leadership training and and also cultural service training and preparedness training. So you can see some of our links down below. We are on mastermind.com. You just search for TPN, the Preparedness Network, and you can find us on mastermind.com, and all our trainings there, and we'll get you guys in connect. So thank you so much for listening to us, and Juvy, thank you so much for coming
Jeff.
aboard and being part of this. And also, John Maxwell does leadership training and also his leadership conferences every year. There's one, the next one is March. In Florida. It's going to be a 3-day conference. There'll be a 1-day kind of get up and energize yourself. You can do it by Zoom or in person. And so you check those out. And if you want to become a John Maxwell certified coach, we'll have a link down below to John's website where you can become a John Maxwell certified coach and inspire other leaders. John is the foremost leadership entrepreneur and leadership mentor for leadership and creating leaders in the United States and almost the world today. So check his websites out. And if you haven't, like I said, have any questions, please let us know. Please do like and subscribe and share this video out with all your friends and colleagues and people. Even if you don't like them, share this with video too. We thank you so much for doing it. Thank you, Juvy.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeff.
Bye.
Bye-bye.